year is 2025, actually almost 2026, basically it's 2026, and I am 35, I'll be 36 this upcoming year, of course, right? That's how it goes. And I still cannot fathom the idea of having a kid. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not getting that itch. My wife's not getting that itch either. You know, she's like 7 years younger than me, but we're just not getting that itch. And I think psychology has overtaken biology at this point. And I just cannot fathom having a kid, and I can't understand how people could, in this day and age, have a kid. In American society, let's be honest. You know, coming from two different cultures, like I am, you know, I was born in the U.S., born and raised an American, but my family, they're immigrants. They come from a more homogeneous community, right? So in America, which could be a concern in a lot of the world now, but especially America, I just cannot fathom having a kid, and I can't understand how people could, you know. And it kind of adds to the point of why we're having a birth rate crisis, especially in the developed world, and this is starting to, it seems like, even affect the third world as well, who are per child per woman percentages are dropping as well. So you know, if you want to get ahead in life, I just don't see how you could with a child if you come from a lower middle class background. Let's put that disclaimer out there as well. If you have generational wealth and what have you, sure, you know, like, you can actually have the means. You have the means to bring a kid into the world, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to do so. And the reason why I bring this question up is because, and I say I don't have the itch to have a child, but there is that notion of like, okay, what's next in life, right? And I get it. You know, for better part of human society or human history, having children has been the end-all be-all, and making sure those kids survive so your lineage continues. That's what evolution wants from us, or did want from us. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Something weird's going on now where that biological itch is kind of disappearing, and it's being taken over by psychological factors, right? We want to get ahead in our careers. We are going through right now is a good time to look at it, because like anytime a recession hits, you start wondering about these kind of things. Like, all right, like, how am I going to be able to even take care of myself tomorrow? Then I got to worry about a kid. You know, kids are not cheap, of course. But I guess the question comes down to like, all right, what's next? Like, if I don't have a kid, what's my future? And I contemplated this a lot recently, because I think a lot of people just have a kid because, you know, what else is there? What are they going to leave all this behind for? I get that. But I also think it's a little bit, you don't have to have a kid to leave something behind for somebody. There's plenty of people out there that can use what you have. You can pass that down to people that are kids that are already here right now, that exist in this dimension, on this planet now. You know, you don't have to create that from your loins for that to be a thing. So I don't know about that notion. I think that's maybe evolution speaking, but also that could be considered selfish as well. There's a double argument there. Like, if you don't want to have a kid, you're selfish because you only care about yourself. And if you do have a kid, you're selfish because you also only care about yourself. In that sense, you care about yourself because you want to increase your lineage. You care about yourself because maybe you want somebody to take care of you when you're older. It's still selfish, right? At the end of the day, everything we do is selfish because we want to survive, right? Human mind, body wants to survive, and this is how it sees its survival. But I feel like we've gone past that point now, and I don't know. I just another topic of discussion, like with how things are going. I've been unemployed for almost 6 months now. As I mentioned in my previous video, this is the first time I've been unemployed this long, and I feel like this won't be the last time. I think this is gonna be a continued thing, and maybe the next time I'm unemployed, it might be. I mean, if this lasts 6 months, and let's say I get a job tomorrow, the next one will be a year. Maybe it might be mass unemployment in general. What if AI really does just take over? Although I don't see that happening yet. My previous video, I mentioned that the AI is mostly an excuse right now, but something's happening. We are falling apart little by little, and this is a clear sign that the house of cards, the deck of cards, is crumbling. Right? It's falling. So, but kids, man, I don't know. You know, I've also presented this case to a few friends of mine. Back in the day, you know, we fought revolutions. We did things because we wanted to look at our kids' future, right? Like if our children's future was threatened enough, we would fight for that, fight for their future, right? We would fight against invaders. We would fight against not just, I'm not talking about my culture, I'm talking about cultures in general, right? Every culture has been through something like this. We would fight for fight kings, right? We would have revolutions against tyranny. Now tyranny's been so like you know, how do I say this, like integrated into our society in a way where like we don't even see it happening. You don't even know that you might have a kid, and this kid might not have a good future at all, because you're thinking it's going to be just like how it was for you. But what's happening now is going to take effect. What's starting to happen now, or has been happening, is going to start to take effect over the next few decades. So they're the ones that are going to suffer, and their kids, if they have more, right? You have grandchildren. So I just don't see parents fighting for their kids' future, man. I got to make another video about this too, but I want to mention it here as well. I don't see parents fighting for their kids' future. Who the fuck's out there fighting and revolting for a better life for their kids, or their future kids that they're going to have? You can't, right? I get it. I mentioned this in other videos in the past as well. You're so stuck on like finding the next, paying the next bill, making sure that you don't lose your job. But this is short-term thinking, the short-sightedness. If you're having a hard time, if you have a kid or kids, and you're having a hard time finding a job, and you find one, and you're like, oh, I'm not fucking with this. I'm not going out there protesting and revolt and fight against the system, because I can't. I got to pay the bills. Imagine like what your kid's gonna go through, right? Imagine what your kid's gonna go through when it's time for them to get a job, right? What the fuck's gonna happen then? Is it just gonna be like feudal stuff? Are they gonna be serfs serving a lord, right? It's sad to think about, man, that our kids that we're creating for our future might end up becoming somebody's literal slave if we go back to that system. Then you're gonna fight. Might be too little too late to fight then. You're leaving that fight for them. And you know, that's gonna be sad, man. I can't imagine myself 80 years old and watching my son or daughter slave away, right? I can't, you know, go through the burnout that I've been through, or my friends and family have been through, cry because fucking it's tough, and it's gotten tougher, and they don't know how they're gonna pay their next bill. Guess what? That future, I mean, that's happening right now. So if it's happening right now, it's just gonna be exacerbated for the future. So if you're not gonna go out there and fight for your kids, don't have them. That's basically it. If you're not gonna go out there and fight for your kid's future now, or you're planning on having a kid and you don't want to fight for the future, don't have them, because their future is being taken away from them, and you don't even see it because you're too worried about paying your next bill, because you're thinking short term right now. Like, how do I pay the bill now, right? How do I take care of this now? But their future is already done.